For a modern Peugeot driver in Malaysia, it's not been easy. A lineup of 3 SUVs, 1 pickup truck of Chinese origin, none of which speak to the brand's exciting heritage.
6.5 hours later.
Constant mockery saying you've bought the wrong car. A man can only take so much. Please, Big Daddy Stellantis, you've got so many amazing cars. Just give us some. And Peugeots, give me better Peugeots. I mean, come on, kasian lah.
Bonjour, please turn your car into especially off. Merci. So, we are value, and we will give this to you.
Yes, sir. Oh, thank you, boss.
Oh, I am not the boss, I am but the messenger. My name is Jean-Paul. So, we will give you a sexy saloon car, we will give you a liftback, and we'll give you a crossover.
Okay. What, 3 cars?
No. It's this one car.
Ha! Okay, meet the 408. She's a freak. Oh yeah, in a good way. There are 3 variants, the Allure, the Premium, and this, the GT. A C-segment car with an avant-garde design and Peugeot's very new angular design language, which honestly makes even lower-end cars look great. It's all angles, everywhere, all the time. Dimensionally, it's longer, wider, and definitely taller than the Honda Civic. It even has 52mm extra wheelbase, so if the Proton S70 was a B-plus segment car LARPing as a C-segment car, the 408 is a C+ that's edging on D. Pricing is still avant-garde. The Allure is 146,000 ringgit, the Premium is 166,000 ringgit, and this GT is 196,000 ringgit. But you probably don't want the Allure or the Premium though. After seeing this GT, especially in person, at certain angles, this thing is a knockout. Splendide, magnifique. This integrated grille, making it look like a whole front end was laser etched out of sheet metal. Integrated LiDAR sensor in the logo. At the rear too, these taillights look epic in the dark. Slanted LEDs make it look like a cat's claw and the rest of it. In fact, the front as well, DRLs like extended claws or talons, get it? The feline lion motif.
But why doesn't this extend all the way up to the main headlight cluster? You have the same thing happening, the effect, with the 3008 and the 5008, but not in the 408. And by the way, these are matrix LEDs. Also, these 20-inch alloys, they call it the monolith design. It just looks really, really good, like a piece of modern art. And the thing is, it goes really well with the angularity and the whole design ethos of the 408. But I know if I had this car, this is my car, my OCD would be acting up all the time because I would want these 2 wheels to be pointing the exact same direction all the time. So if they do get out of sync, I would have to buy one of those rollers, roll the car onto it, and then spin the back wheels to match the front wheels every single time. And this rear bumper, God, it's big. Okay, I'm not one for the big booties, the big badonkadonks, or the derrières, as the French say, but whatever Kim K is injecting to make her booty bigger, this car looks like it's using it, and now I can't unsee it.
It's not okay though, it's not.
But why is it trying to be a crossover at all? It gave Peugeot license to put an oversized piece of unsightly plastic as the rear bumper because, hey, SUV, right? Why not? And I'm counting all the cladding around the wheel arches and the lower perimeter.
But I think I can forgive the GT because for some reason, this still looks so damn good. But the other variants,
The liftback design though, I'm a big fan of. Fastback, that term is just for looks. Sloping roofline like the Civic and even the Vios.
Here, the liftback design means that the boot is hinged at the roof. So it gives you like a hatchback-like boot opening, which is to say a huge load aperture.
536 liters of space, 1,611 liters of space with the seats down. Even got a through loading hole right there in the center for skis. Proper Eurocar, this one.
Unfortunately, you don't get a spare tire. Instead, you get a tire repair kit, and the space is taken up by a big subwoofer. So point to the Allure and the Premium from having that feature. Also, where are the exhaust exits? Now these are what I call exhaust exits, okay? Peugeot, please don't tell me you've forgotten how to make them. You've been making too many SUVs, mon ami.
Anyhow, this is my 2012 RCZ, my Peugeot. A bit like you, I was very apprehensive about getting involved with the brand. Let's just say I've heard stories. I bought her as a 6-year-old car back in September 2018. This is a 12-year-old Peugeot that I drive on the regular, but it's still special. I miss driving it even when I'm borrowing a test car to do a review on. It's newer, faster, more high-tech, and I climb back in this thing after however many days, and I kind of go, yeah, this is better. I like this.
You might be thinking that the maintenance cost to keep this car on the road must be insane. I should be broke. I should be living out of a cardboard box by now. But no, I'm still here, breathing, fairly happy. And I've kept a detailed record, a big spreadsheet of all the things that I've done to this car, small, large. And here are the important ones. Okay, I've wrote them down. Okay. 2019, October, alternator replacement. 2020, March, recall for the aircon compressor and condenser. I also had at the same time a timing chain and timing chain tensioner replacement under the same recall, because I remember that was the first day for the lockdown here in Malaysia for COVID, and that was the same day I had to go to Klang to collect this car, otherwise it'll be stuck there forever. 2022, 2 years later, there's an oil leak from the oil pan. Something must have cracked it. There's also the thermostat housing that was leaking coolant, and also the fuel pump, the low pressure fuel pump. High pressure fuel pump is for the engine area over here. Also a low pressure fuel pump to feed the fuel over to it at the fuel tank. That was leaking, smell of fumes everywhere, had that replaced. Also, there was a crack in the plastic valve cover, had that replaced with a stainless steel one.
So, not really out of the norm for a 12-year-old car, 12. There's a passionate community of Peugeot owners and workshops here that can work on them. They even specialize in them. Beyond this, it has just been attentive and preventative maintenance. I don't blame you or anyone else if you heard of horror stories. Burmaz did a very good job in rehabilitating the brand image, and hopefully it'll be even better now as Stellantis is here officially.
So the reason why I have both cars in the frame is that the engines in both cars are the same, okay? 1.6 liter turbo, 1.6 liter turbo. 408 is called, it's a marketing term, okay? PureTech. My era, it was called THP, but really it's the same Prince engine from a lot of years ago when Peugeot and BMW like cooperated with that engine. And if you have a BMW of like recent times, let's say 1.6 liter, this is the engine you have as well. Even the same code names, okay? EP6, EP6.
8-time Engine of the Year award winner, blah, blah, blah. Kind of the one reasons why I bought the RCZ in the first place is because I know Peugeot still makes this engine, so parts shouldn't be an issue. 218 PS, 300 Newton meters of torque, hooked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission from Aisin, which is Toyota. Front-wheel drive should be more than potent enough for all the other C-segment cars to compete with, even D-segment cars except for the Arteon R-Line. 0-200 should take about 7.8 seconds with a top speed of 220 kilometers per hour.
Inside the 408, wow, it makes an impression just like the exterior, right? The wow factor here is literally that. It's quite stunning. The way everything is kind of angled out over here, nothing looks conventional in this car, but it's not to say that this car doesn't have functionality well ingrained into how this is designed. It's actually quite functional. Nappa leather, you have this leather or leatherette dashboard, very soft to the touch, soft touch plastic everywhere. Things feel very solid, almost like an Audi or something German. Very, very comparable. There's even touches of Alcantara, okay? On the door panel over here, you have soft touch plastic, Alcantara, more soft touch plastic, and kind of like a leatherette material. And these seats, okay, I didn't mention that they actually have a massage feature, which includes a cat paw like pattern. That's the best part of owning a cat, isn't it? When they kind of need you, and this car would do the same thing, I guess, because it'll actually relax you while you drive. A very premium feature. This whole setup, okay, the whole technology screens facing you setup over here is called i-Cockpit. In fact, the ergonomics of this car as well is kind of called i-Cockpit. It's all supposed to be kind of ergonomic, visibility, and tech oriented. So you have a 10-inch driver's display, okay, which is a 3D effect. Basically, they have a reversed HUD. This car could use a normal HUD, but what they've done is that they have a second screen up on this instrument binnacle over here that projects down at an angle to like a semi-translucent material that's covering the actual display behind it, okay? So it gives you a 3D effect. It's projection over here and a normal screen behind it. It's a cool effect. I like it. It's not It is not gimmicky. It is a bit gimmicky, but it doesn't get in the way of what I'm saying, okay? And then that is in conjunction with this central infotainment screen, which is one of the better ones. It's really clear. The refresh rate is really high, at least 90 Hertz. The animations are super slick and it just fit with this theme of this car. It's very stylish, very swish, very sophistication, okay? And then you have, in conjunction with that, this i-Toggle screen. It is just a display, but you can actually customize what is on there. Like right now I have Apple CarPlay / Android Auto. I can just tap it. There's a shortcut that goes into Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, phone, navigation, climate, media. I can change that by going into this normal screen and just switch it around. But the thing is that I don't like is that, look, down here you have physical buttons. I always like physical buttons. There's only one physical knob, which is the volume control for the stereo. But these buttons don't really do what I want them to do. For example, okay, fan speed. But you could also access the same menu from the i-Toggle screen. So it's doubling up again. Come on, I want it back on. Just, yes, icon, yes, on within Malaysia. All right, what else you get? You get a wireless charger, conveniently located over here, although with my phone, maybe it's the camera bump, but it doesn't let me charge. It'll charge for like 3 seconds and then stop charging. Anyway. You also have a 10-speaker speaker system from Focal. To be honest, it is quite good. I just feel that the lesser, older 6-speaker setup in my car, which is from JBL, sounds better, but that's just me, I'm biased. The reason why this steering wheel is small and sporty and very compact, very short in this way, is that they want you to look over the steering wheel at the instrument cluster. The thing is though, I usually drive like this, but they actually want you to drive like this. Have the steering wheel low, and for me to actually see what is happening with the instrument cluster, I gotta adjust the seat way high. So I'm sitting way high, I got my steering wheel low, and that's how I'm supposed to drive the car. Otherwise, you can't really see what is on the screen. That's why I said this car could actually use a normal HUD and not the reverse HUD for the 3D effect. But once you get used to that, this car it works, okay? The screen is nicely angled a little bit toward the driver. All the information is displayed. There is no screen overload. There is a lot of stylish cues that I like in this car, but they're always backed up with something functional. And this is actually functional. This steering wheel feels really good. This GT lettering over here is really, really nice. The steering wheel itself, you can actually like put your hand over here if you want to drive like a relaxed fashion on the highway or whatever, or, and you shouldn't do this, kind of like rest your hand over here, you can do that too. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it's a very nice steering wheel to hold, and because it is really small and compact, you can turn it, no problem. It's really good for just driving around.
I think you should go for the GT. Looks the part, matrix LEDs, panoramic sunroof, customizable i-Toggle screen air purifier, and a 360 cam, not just a reversing camera, but it doesn't give you a 3D view. All 408 variants get active safety, most importantly AEB, but only the Premium and the GT get front collision warning, blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert, and adaptive cruise control.
Storage-wise, you do get quite a lot of it, okay? See? Functionality. You have a nice big door pocket over here, which does fit a big bottle, and the surface of it is lined with felt. So you can just like chuck your anything in there, your phone, your keys, your whatever, and it won't actually scratch it up too badly. Speaking of bottles, you have cup holders here and here as well. They fit nicely, you know. A little area down here, which I don't know, you can put your wallet, 2-piece center cubby, which is ventilated. Actually a bit cooler in here too. And glove compartment. Another big thing about French cars, Peugeots, is that they always have compromised glove compartments. Not this one. Opens up, nicely damped, also felt lined, and it's quite spacious. I do think they have the fuses behind a little plastic cover over there, but it's a big glove box. Bravo for that. There is one USB slot, USB-C, in the front over here, a little storage area as well. And another one kind of hidden away over here in the center cubby. In the back seats, well, you do get the Nappa leather seats, also perforated. Thigh support is pretty good, and you get a lot of legroom, guys. This is like Honda levels, Honda Accord levels of legroom. A lot of it, in fact. And because I'm seated over here, and because the i-Cockpit My seat is all the way up here. I don't really have a nice forward view, at least behind the driver. Besides that, I do wish that these seats were not so upright. If there was more recline in them, they would be perfect for a long trip. You also get air conditioning vents, which I gotta say, don't look that great. They remind me of the air conditioning vents I had on my Proton Savvy. I mean, it wouldn't matter too much, but the fact that this car, overall, the interior is all very stylish and angular and French. This just looks very ordinary. Besides that, you also get 2 USB-C slots down here, little storage area. But that being said, it is a bit dim here. Luckily, you do have the sunroof. Let's just open that up. Okay, you have the sloping roof, right? The liftback, fastback design. You do get a limited amount of headroom because of that, although you do get a lot of legroom. Let's say you're very tall, just, I guess, slouch. Headrests are nice, very flexible, but the overall feeling in here is that you don't get quite the same amount of luxury as the front. On the door panel, on the front seats, you get nice soft touch material, but listen to this. Nasty, hard plastics. You get a lot of looks in this car. This car is a real head turner, which for some people is going to be enough for them to at least consider it, because a lot of other cars don't turn heads. Even if you drive a Porsche 911, a Ferrari, people know what that is. People know, it's like, oh, that's a red Ferrari. But this car, it's more interesting. I don't even know how to categorize it. Crossover, saloon car, estate car. Did I say SUV crossover? Fine, nothing really special. The view out the back though, that thing, I gotta comment. The thing is, you can't really see much around the C-pillar. Everything's really obscured. You have a big C-pillar. Anything behind the rear door is pretty much your blind spot. You have a 1.6 liter Prince engine, EP6, or PureTech as they call it. 218 PS, 300 Newton meters of torque, which really puts it ahead of pretty much every other C-segment competitor. You get the most power, 218 PS, which can't be matched with anything from Honda, from Mazda, from definitely not Toyota. So in the C segment, this is the power performance king, and you get that even at the base level of the 408 range. But even if you go one segment higher than that, which I think you can probably do with this car, because I really do define it, and when you see it in person, you think like it's a C plus, or even maybe a D segment car, size-wise. I don't know, you do make quite a large impression on the road, and inside here, it is quite spacious for a petrol-powered car. You have the Honda Accord. Well, you used to have the Honda Accord. You have the Toyota Camry, right? You have the Mazda 6. This car, I would tell you, is bigger than all those cars, or as big as all those cars. And more importantly, it is also more powerful than any car in the D segment, except for the Volkswagen Arteon R-Line. That one has all-wheel drive. That one has a punchier 2-liter turbo engine, but that also costs a lot more money. So, if you really wanted to justify the cost of this Peugeot, I guess that'll be the route. You know, like, well, I'm getting the D segment-ish car, you know, with a pretty powerful engine. You get a stylish looks, and you get a very unique car. You get a very complete car as well, completely spec'd car for a lot less money than the Volkswagen Arteon. So maybe this is kind of a bargain. On the road though, this engine, I have a lot of experience with it, right? This exact same engine as my personal car, my daily driver, so it should be pretty familiar. The only difference is that I have an 8-speed auto transmission, which I got 2 extra ratios. I don't know what it is about it. It does feel grainier. And the thing is, I drove this car and my car back to back, in quick succession. And I know for a fact that my car is smoother. This engine just feels a bit more grainy, a bit more rough, like it's struggling to, under partial load, it is a little bit, rough. And that shouldn't be the case, because this car has more gear ratios to work with and is newer. My car, again, is 12 years old. I'm not being biased. I am just telling it like it is. This car does feel grainy, and that could be because it's a new car.
2.5K on the odometer. Maybe it needs to be broken in more, maybe it needs a different kind of oil, I have no idea. But it doesn't feel as super refined as I thought it would be. Let's go to normal, from eco to sport. There you go. Things turn red around me, ooh, more aggressive. I did turn on this sort of like, sport noise function. Does it pipe in extra noise from the speakers, from the vocal speakers? Or is it just like a resonator, somewhere in the engine bay to give me more induction noise? I have no idea. It doesn't sound, it sounds louder. Have a listen to that. Okay, it doesn't sound too pleasant. Small steering wheel, I really like. There are people in the Peugeot community who own older cars, like the older 308, my car, the older 408, that actually literally take this shaped steering wheel, like the i-Cockpit style steering wheel, and put it into their car. It looks weird. It does look weird because it wasn't designed for cars without i-Cockpit. Now, this car handles really well. The direction changes happen pretty immediately. I'm shifting the weight of the car back and forth, and it doesn't really want to get upset too much. It handles everything quite nicely. And you know what? I was really skeptical about this car having 20-inch wheels, because if you do buy the Allure or the Premium, you would get, smaller wheels and therefore just more sidewall with the tires. And I think even one of them is possibly even an SUV spec tire profile. So you do get a lot more cushioning. In this case, you don't get any of that because it's running Goodyear Eagle F1 tires. So it should be more crashy, but it's not. Okay, it's crashy in specific bumps where the geometry of the suspension is upset. All right? Expansion joint bumps. You will feel that more often. If you're in KL, by the way, if you're in KL and you go on Jalan Semantan, joining up to Jalan Duta, right? And you have that kind of loop with the red bumps in the road, it's really, really rough. No car can handle that really well. This car is no different, but that kind of bump, you will feel it because you have this wheel and tire package. It might be better in the Allure and the Premium, I have no idea. But it handles it pretty well, all things considered. And then you go over normal bumps, the more gradual bumps, undulations in the road, it handles it really well. A lot of composure, a lot of poise. You know what, the pedal shifters, they are plastic, but they have a nice action to them. Third gear. Fourth gear. Very quickly shifting. This ICIN transmission is a really good one. 140 kilometers per hour, foot to the floor, 165. Brake, downshift. And it does downshift. Some cars, they really don't like you doing that. They wanna insist that they know more. Okay, ESP is on, capping me right there. Ooh, it does get a bit fruity. There's less friction between you and what the chassis is doing between this and the Honda Civic. The Honda Civic does handle well, but it feels a little bit reserved, a little bit muted, okay? Because the interface between you and the car is very direct, but not very communicative. This is a tad bit communicative, okay? It's still a car with a lot of ground clearance, and it's French. It's supposed to be very safe and understeery. Having said that, you keep it within its limits and you can have fun. I do wonder what it's like if you lower this car, because this shape is so good. Well, except for the Kim K rear end, but otherwise this car is so pretty. I even don't mind the cladding around the lower perimeter. The same way that this straddles the line between a C segment and a D segment car, the feel in here, the quality in here, Yes, the stylishness and the way things are designed does play into that feeling, but it does give you the impression that you're in a premium-ish car, if not completely premium, a premium-ish car. Just now I said, like, the quality in here is comparable to an Audi. Yes, definitely is. Especially if you get the Audi that isn't like, I don't know, the A8, you know, the limousine, or something really high-end from Audi. If you get like one of the A4s or the A3, the A5, this is about there. I'm not kidding. And not because I want to see Peugeot succeed as a brand, because I'm a Peugeot owner. No, I want them to succeed based on merit. If they come out with a new car and it's really good, and people like it for what it is, and they market it correctly, and they aim for the right demographic, and they back it up with great after sales to really redeem the brand from where it was, okay? And it's not from where it was with Burmas, it's from where it was with the guys before Burmas. Then they deserve to succeed. Peugeot deserves to succeed if they make the right moves. And this car, starting out with this car, is the right move, in my opinion. Why do we buy cars? To get from A to B, of course. But there's an emotional component to it now. The designers want to tickle our fancy, and hey, it worked. I obsessed over owning an RCZ since I saw one, and still, 6 years into it, I still look back for a second or two to admire it every time I walk away. That's a special thing. Peugeot is doing the same thing, going for the same sensation, the same emotional evocation. The 408 is a head turner, whether it's your head or the people around it. It makes so much sense then why Stellantis chose this car as their debut model. They're back, and they want you to know it. They also want you to know they're serious. They want you to know that they know what they're doing. You don't get to be the fourth largest automaker by accident.
No, the 408 definitely isn't cheap, but let's face it, Peugeot hasn't exactly been mass market affordable for quite some time. You could make the case though that this car is actually aiming for D-segment rivals like the Camry, like the Mazda 6, while costing a lot less, like tens of thousands of ringgit less. On positioning, style, and size, this car is very, very comparable, while offering a much punchier engine. But then again, value for money wise, you could argue that the BYD Seal Performance or Tesla Model 3 will give you more bang for your buck, and I can't disagree, I'm just saying, okay? Anyway guys, thank you for watching this video up to this point. Leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. I've been Jim, this is Carlist, and see you next time.